Hi YouTube family, it's Yvonne from Ginger Chick Rehab. Today's video I am showing you some thrift store flips. So on my channel I do lots of thrift store flips, trash to treasures, and furniture flips, and I share the process of with you how I get these items ready to resell, and I resell here locally in an antique mall. Today's video, my thrift store flips, I'm going to show you how I gave new life to 4 unwanted, unloved, outdated trays. My first thrifted tray was this Christmas tray, and I like to redo trays, and they sell very well for me, but as the Christmas theme, I would like to transform it into something that you can use all year long. And at a $7.09 price tag, I definitely want it to be something I can use all year long. I absolutely love the hardware on it. I think that gives it a little bit of something, just a little bit of uniqueness. But unfortunately, that bottom layer is a press board, but I do like the wooden sides with that dovetail. So when I saw this tray when I was out thrifting, I snagged it right up. I did not care for the love, even though I do love the love saying. For $5.09, I definitely snagged this one up. I love that it was wood and that it had that kind of a palette look to it, and that those boards on the bottom was separated. And I definitely love the handles, the hardware on this piece. Like I said, it just gives it a little bit more of an accent piece and something to grab it if you're actually going to use it as a tray or just for decor. So for this next tray, I know that it doesn't look like anything special, and you're probably looking at the bottom of it thinking, wow, that's way shiny, so that's not very much fun to paint. But at the $3.09 price tag, I was definitely happy to find this type of tray. That is because it actually has legs that fold out, and it is a lap tray, and this is actually one thing that I do get requests for, and I do not come across them very often, so I was so excited when I actually found another one. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing is removing these handles, this hardware on these trays. I prefer to paint my hardware separately, and I usually am doing it in a different color anyway, but that I just like the crisp lines of taking these off and then reattaching them at the end. So the bottom of this tray is that particle board. I assessed it to see if I could remove it to change it out with something that was a nicer wood without destroying it, and it really wasn't possible. It was glued onto the bottom, and then I might have made the frame of this all wonky. So I just decided to take the orbital sander in the inside and try to remove as much paper to get it as smooth as I could. Then remember, I paid $7.09 for this piece, so I have to keep my cost down, and then adding a new piece of wood would have made the cost go up also. But I do have a plan for the finished product, so this is perfect what I'm doing. And then I'm going to be doing the same thing with this little palette tray. I'm going to go in with my orbital sander, and I'm going to try to get as much of that lub off, especially where there's some red and pink. I don't want that to bleed through my paint. And then on the sides, I will try to get some of those dots off to make sure that they are nice and smooth. And then because I used the orbital sander on most of it, and that is round, I could not get into the corners, but my husband is blessed to have this multi-tool where I can put a sanding head on it, and as you see, it's that triangle shape, that V shape, that I can now get into the corners of both of these square trays. And then I'm just going to take these 2 trays over to the air compressor and just blow them out. Sometimes those corners are kind of hard if you think you're just going to tap that out. I just like to use the air compressor, or if you have a blow dryer, that would work also. Well, now I'm on to cleaning these trays. A good prep surface really matters, a good clean surface, so that your paint adheres properly. And on this tray, unfortunately, I had thrifted it with some food that the person had donated along with the tray. So I'm going to spray this one down and let it sit. So hopefully it will wipe clean. Yes, thrifting is not always for the weak of heart or the weak of stomach. And so for the other 2 trays, I'm just going to be spraying my rag and then wiping them down, getting them good and cleaned off, any of that sand dust, any dirt, grease, any residue that's left behind that would affect the paint from adhering properly. Now that I've got this tray all cleaned off, yuck. Anyway, so we're going to move on, and now I am assessing the bottom of this piece, and this piece is in perfect condition on the bottom.
So what I'm doing is I'm not going to worry about painting the bottom of this. I don't want it when you're opening and closing, kind of like a TV tray that's going to be marring up the paint. So all I'm doing here is taping the bottom off so that I don't get paint on the underneath, because I'm going to leave that the way it is. So now, since this one is shiny and this one is particle board and I have a wood one, I am choosing to use the Rust-Oleum paint primer in flat black to get their first coat of paint on. This is just a nice for those shiny and that particle board to adhere for the adhesion. And then since I'm already doing 2 of them, I'll just go ahead and do the wood one also, and it's just going to give me a nice smooth look. So I did go back in and do 1 more coat, so 2 coats of the black to cover, and then I'm going to be moving on to sealing that black paint in with some polycrylic before flipping these pieces over. I find that if I seal and protect that with a top coat before I flip them over, that I'm less likely to get any damage to that black paint. So now I'm on to the top side of these trays, and so I'm just putting the spray paint on to cover. I know that I'm not going to cover it in my first coat. I don't want to put so much spray paint on that it runs. It's not very much fun to try to get rid of drips, so that's why I don't try to cover in your first coat. Go back through with a second coat and get those spots that you missed. So now I'm on to taping off the areas of the trays that I don't want to accidentally get paint on, and I'm going to be doing a stencil on the inside of this tray, so that's why I'm going on the inside up the sides. So for my palette looking one, I am just taping off the bottom. I don't feel the need that I'm going to be painting this one white, and I don't feel the need to paint the bottom. That bottom has a nice clean paint job, and it's sealed in with some polycrylic top coat. And so that I don't make a mess and I keep a clean, crisp line, I'm just taping off the bottom so none of the paint runs under. So like I said, I wanted to paint this tray white. My vision is for it to be a lot of distressing just with that palette wood. And my go-to paint is this Kills Paint and Primer in flat white. I get it right off the shelf at Walmart. And I'm down to the bottom of this paint, but I use every bit of my paint that I can before I open up a new can of paint. And I find that this is just as good at the bottom as it was on the top when I opened it up. So for this next tray, I lifted it up and did my sides first. Unfortunately, it was really out of picture when I painted that part of it, so you'll just have to believe me, because there's just a little bit of lip where the tray and the bottom is that I wanted to make sure that I got that covered first, and that I wasn't trying to reach it from the top so I didn't have drips. Like I said, drips are no fun to have to try to sand out, especially when you have a sleek surface like this. So to clean off those hardware handles, my go-to is just the Dawn dish soap and hot water, and then I just rinse them and then let them dry. Now I like to put my hardware on pieces of styrofoam, especially since I can kind of stick the screws in there. And then my go-to is the Rust-Oleum paint and primer in 1 in the flat black. And then like I did on the trays before, flipping these pieces over, I'm going to seal that paint in using the polycrylic and then let that dry, and then I can flip the pieces over and complete the same steps. So on camera, I bet you this kind of probably looks like I've already painted the bottom of this. But what this is a stencil that I got off Amazon, and I had to end up cutting the sides off a little bit, the extra that was on there, to make it fit perfectly inside of this tray. And now I'm just using some masking tape to secure it, so when I am using my makeup sponge to dab on the paint, that I don't accidentally shift my stencil. So for my stencil color, I'm just going to be using this Waverly chalk paint. Now I have to say I've never tried chalk paint on a stencil myself. I usually use my apple barrel in white, but I thought since I'm in the workshop and my other paints out there, I'm just going to give this a try. So I'm just using a makeup sponge that I get at the Dollar Tree, and that's where you just have and when you're doing your stencil, you don't want a lot of paint on your little sponge there, your little dabber that you're applying the paint to, kind of a dry technique and just kind of a dabbing motion. And so I'm trying to really not shift this stencil. I'm trying to keep it nice and centered. So I felt like this would maybe be a little bit better of an angle that you can see what I am doing, how I just gingerly am tapping, just kind of letting that paint put itself onto the board, not me pressing the paint on the board, so that I'm not squishing it underneath this stencil. And if you can tell, I have two stencils on top of each other and they almost line up, but I do have a line where I'm going to have to lift a little piece of that stencil to get my lines perfect. And then since I thought there was going to be a space and it was actually perfectly imperfect square on the outside, I did actually stencil that in so there wasn't that odd space. But here was where I'm showing you that that's how much I had to cut off to get it to fit, and I just used one of my straight cutters for scrapbooking to cut that so it stayed a straight line. So now I'm going to go in and give these trays some details. So even a detail is even that sharp edge of where two corners meet on this tray. So I'm taking some 220 sandpaper and I'm just pushing down hard to get some of that black to show through. And if I push down a little bit harder, I can get some of that natural to show through. It's just whatever you want it to be. I just love to see these edges of distressing on a piece. That's just a look that I prefer. And then I will take the rest of the sandpaper lightly over the rest of the piece and make sure that I have it nice and smooth. And then I'm going to flip this piece over and remove this tape, because where that paint has sat on it leaves that hard crusty edge that I do not like the feeling of. And so then I'll just run my sandpaper over it and make sure that it's nice and smooth. Now for this piece, I'm doing that same concept. I want those crisp edges to show. I want to see that black paint that I painted underneath this piece. So I'm just taking that 220 sandpaper and hitting all the sharp edges of this tray. And then for this tray too, I will be removing that tape and running that sandpaper down where that crusty edge of that paint has built up and leaving it nice and smooth. Now I wanted this piece to be a little bit more distressed, so I'm taking that multi-tool with that sanding attachment on it, and so I'm really going to get into removing some of this paint so I see some of that natural wood. And then I want to be able to see the planks of those palette pieces on there, so I'm really going to be going along those edges of those individual slats on the bottom. And then there was a couple places that were a little bit tighter that the paint kind of built up, and I want to be able to see that crack in between that palette wood. So I'm just taking my utility knife here, my little knife, and then I'm just trying to make it so that that paint isn't built up in that middle so you can see that line. So now I'm on to the black tray and I'm doing the same thing with the sandpaper. I like the look of distressing and it sells really well for me. So then that's actually the same thing I'm doing, is just hitting those sharp edges with the sandpaper. But to smooth the sides out, I will change over to some steel wool so that it doesn't leave scratch marks like the sandpaper that I'm using will leave. And then in the inside, I don't want to be able to feel where I had stenciled, so I'm just taking that steel wool very gingerly just to knock down anything that might feel a little raised. And then I'm going to use the assistance of my air compressor to get all the sanding dust, especially get it out of those corners. So now I am on to, I know that this is chalk paint and chalk paint can be water distressed. So I want to be able to protect this chalk paint. And so I'm just sealing it in with a couple coats of polycrylic. And can you all tell me, should I have waxed this chalk paint first? Because I did notice I had a little bit of smearing going on. I do not use chalk paint very often. I did like how it stayed crisp white and it worked with the stencil. But so should I have sealed that in? Can you polycrylic over wax? Because I'm not really sure. And then I did, for a little bit extra protection on this tray that you could use for food to eat off of, I did want to put a couple coats of the polycrylic on this tray also. And then I wanted to just give this a light sanding, sand down any brush strokes that I may feel and any of the shine that sometimes, even though I will use a matte or a satin, it still is kind of shiny for me. So I'm just sanding that down before I move on to my next step. So for one more layer of extra protection, I like the Varathane finishing wax, and it's just a wipe on, a wipe off any excess kind of wax. So now I'm going to be replacing those handles. I just absolutely love painting these handles black. I love what that black and white and how it just makes the two different variants of color, how it just pops. So for the sides of this black tray, I am going to be completing and sealing it in with some Waverly Antiquing Wax. I love what this does to black paint. So I'm just using a waxing brush to apply it, and then I'll wipe off any excess. So I was so happy when I came across this tray. I just absolutely, lap trays, as I said, have been asked for if I ever run across any, and then just keeping it just the simple white, so you know that you're probably not going to sit a ton of decor. We have one in our living room and we absolutely love it. And then I'm sorry if you were sad to see those little Christmas trees go, but like I said, I wanted to make a tray that you could use all year long. For me, that's more cost efficient, and I absolutely love how this check came out. And I did Varathane finishing wax over that after I had sanded the polycrylic, just to make it be a little bit more sealed and protect. And I just absolutely love how this white pops, and I love handles on a tray. And I definitely thought that this tray was a great find. I just love the bones of this tray. I love palette wood anyway, and the palette look of this tray was definitely right up my alley to fit into the farmhouse decor I love, and to make it a little bit more heavily distressed so you can actually see those planks of that palette wood. And I just, like I said, I love handles on a tray. I just think it's a great feature.
Which one of my thrift store flips was your favorite? Would you have stayed away from these items in a thrift store, or have I inspired you in any way to look at thrifted items and even items that you have laying around your house and give them new life? Thank you for watching today's video, and if you're part of my YouTube family, thank you so much. Just by you watching my videos and giving me a kind comment and a thumbs up lets YouTube know that you like my kind of content, and they'll keep recommending me. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscription button along with the notification bell so you know when I've uploaded a new video.